September 7th, leaving Portage Bay, heading back to civilization, more or less, Petersburg. We're going to check out Petersburg and see if we can spend the winter there. We know they've got what we need in terms of fuel and electricity and all that stuff. We called the harbor master, talked to him about the rates, and it all looks pretty good. We're going to check it out, and we're also going to check out Wrangell. Meanwhile, we're looking forward to another nice day on the water. It's a little bit gray, but the forecast is good. And the water's calm right now, and expected to remain that way. So, looking forward to another nice day on the water. A little cool though. It's just a little cool.
Well, that's because there's no sun at all.
Yeah, there's no sun today. A little bit. After yesterday, I don't really mind. Gotta watch out. Excuse me. Kelp in the water. I don't want to run over the kelp.
So Portage Bay was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was, well, Portage Bay, you know, the sound of chainsaws and four-wheelers and people talking and trucks and what have you on the beach. So, yeah, it was different. It's also just geologically different, much more shallow than the other places we've been.
I think the deepest it was anywhere in there was like 8 or 9 fathoms.
Yeah.
And it's a large bay.
It's a very large bay. There's easily room for, God, I would say 40 or 50 boats anyway to anchor in there, maybe more.
Yeah.
Many boats could anchor
Pretty
in there.
much the whole depth is 5 to 6 fathoms throughout the whole bay. And the bay's, what, 2 miles long? I mean, you can't go all the way back, but...
No, but it's, there's a nice convenient island in the middle of the shallow part of the bay, so you just don't go past that island. So as long as you don't go past the island in the middle of the bay at the back, or at the head of the bay there, you're fine. There's plenty of room to anchor in relatively shallow water.
And the rule there is just anchor in the middle.
Anchor in the middle, yeah. Which we did, and we had a nice peaceful night after, you know, what was it, 6 o'clock?
Yeah. After they shut the chainsaws down.
So, we had a pretty enjoyable evening, nice supper as usual, and got up early and got underway.
That entrance is just a little trickier than some of the others that we've had.
It is. It shoals off on one side. We came in at high tide, we left at low tide, or nearly low tide, on a falling tide. We left on a falling tide. The tide and current thing, this leg of the voyage, this leg, we have to do something a little bit different, but as luck would have it, the tide range today is only about 6 feet. Now, when we started off from Port Alexander, the tidal range was 19 feet, and the currents were flowing really strong, so we had to pay very close attention to that. But today, the tide range is only 6 feet, and the currents are not that strong, so we're not terribly awful concerned about it. So here we are. We're actually bucking a current. Pay attention.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, you don't want to run into that stuff.
No, we don't want to run into that at all. So we're actually bucking the current, but we're still doing 4.5 knots. So that's okay, because we always plan our trips on the basis of 4 knots made good over the ground.
And we're expecting this trip to be about 5 hours?
About 5 or 6 hours. It's 23 miles. So 22 miles at 4 knots, 6 hours. And that should put us into Petersburg early afternoon. We'll top off our fuel tanks and fill our reserve cans, because we emptied the reserve cans yesterday. So we need to get fuel. That's the first thing we'll do, because in this cool weather, it's very important to keep your tank full. Otherwise, you get condensation in your fuel. Water in the fuel is not good. As we have learned.
Coming from Hawaii, that was a learning curve.
Yeah.
Don't have such issues there.
So anyway, that's the plan. Portage Bay to Petersburg in 6 hours. The current will turn. Slack water's at 11:38. It is now 10:30. So in about an hour we should get slack water and get back up to 5 knots, and then
getting a push towards Petersburg.
Get a little push. Not much of a push. The current's only going to be about half a knot, maybe.
Yeah.
So, but
every little bit helps.
Yeah, every little bit helps. So,
well, hopefully we see some more whales today.
Yeah, all those whales yesterday. Too bad they weren't close enough to really get good pictures. But
I wouldn't have wanted to be as close as that one guy was.
I know.
He had about 6 or 8 whales all around him, and whoa.
I've been that close to whales before in Hawaii. But actually, our first trip that whales came that close to us.
Yeah.
They weren't jumping up out of the water.
They weren't breaching like they were in front of him yesterday.
Those guys were coming
amazing.
all the way up out of the water.
Yeah.
Crashing down. Okay, so anyway.
So Petersburg. Hi-ho.
Maybe they have good beer there.
Maybe. Oktoberfest is coming up. On the nose again.
Iceberg.
Still wouldn't want to hit it.
I still wouldn't want to hit it, no, but that's a definite chunk of ice. Something you don't see too often in Hawaii. Ice in the water.
Ice in the water.